TV, and today I've got such a great interview for you. If you are all about making people look great, that's an art. But to build a one-on-one clientele, like a hairstylist, that takes thinking out of the box. And my guest today knows all about that. I'm really excited to introduce you to Alyson Hoag. She is a master, and I'm super excited to talk to her. So, hi, Alyson.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. I'm super excited for you to share with all the viewers because you have so much knowledge and everything that I've come to know about you is pretty awesome. So I want them to know that about you too. So tell us a little bit about your background, a little bit about what you do and a little bit about your background.
So I own a beauty bar and a makeup studio. We actually call it a makeup salon and a hair studio because I wanted to give the impression, the way that you would think about a hair salon as a makeup salon. And I opened up the doors of Authentic Beauty about 6 years ago, and it's kind of been my laboratory to bring this information to the makeup artist community because as growing up, I've been a makeup artist, which is kind of hard to believe, but it'll be 30 years since that I've been a professional makeup artist in this coming April, which I know I don't look old. I am. You don't look old enough, and you just said you had kids in college, so everybody, whatever Alyson's doing, whatever her products are that she makes, we need to get those. That's number one. Okay, go ahead. It's Authentic Beauty, which the name of my company is Authentic Beauty. And I started off my career behind the counter like so many people did. And even before that, I modeled when I was in high school and learned professional makeup when I was younger. And then in college, worked for Lancome. And of course, found I made more of a difference putting on makeup on women, on real women, than I did counseling them, which is what I was in college for. So I jumped ship counseling and, pursued my career in being a makeup artist, which this was in the 80s and 90s. And, we didn't have the internet back then. We were not connected. It was very difficult to break into the industry. And I moved to Georgia and somehow found myself in the salon environment. It was a very serendipitous event timing. I found Aveda and fell in love with Aveda as a company. I fell in love with Horst and what he stood for. And I found that in the salon environment, you had repeat clientele. You had somebody in your chair every month that you were able to develop a clientele side by side with that hairstylist, that a constant feed of clients came your way. And unfortunately, the manufacturers inside of the salon world don't know how to support the makeup business. So you have then a total mismatch. But being that I was so in love with the salon world and so in love with putting makeup on people, that I kind of merged the two and ended up becoming an educator for Aveda for the Southeast, who had a 10-state region, and studied hundreds of salons and taught education all throughout the Southeast until I had a really great grasp on what it took to really build a makeup business inside the salon environment. And then in the middle of it, I had my children and was not really anticipating the loss of my career as a result, but managing 10 states became incredibly challenging, as did maintaining my career as a freelance artist. It was incredibly challenging, and I, throughout my own career, did not want to stop doing makeup as a result of not being available inside of the freelance community. And so I really honed in on doing what it took to create a consumer clientele. I've always had close ties to a salon throughout my entire career because they give you and feed you clients. And the best satisfaction, I have clients who've been following me for over 20 years. They would not do business anywhere else. They would not put makeup on anyone else. And that to me is the privilege, as I approach Thanksgiving, as we're approaching Thanksgiving, I think about the gratitude of that clientele that loves me, that I love them, that I keep beautiful. They feed me, they pay for my children in college, time and time again, and it allows me the freedom to pursue this career as a makeup artist without the challenges that I hear over and over. And, you know, how Crystal and I connected was sitting at the Makeup Artist Summit and listening to the other artists that were around that weren't making a living at their passion. And Crystal's all about the passion of being able to take this.
So many great things. Yeah. You bring up so many great points because there are so many artists struggling. They really are not clear on how to build a clientele. They're also not clear how to paint faces, but they don't know how to build a clientele. So what really inspired you to be part of the summit?
What really inspired me was Crystal in the Makeup Artist Summit asked anyone in the audience who was making over $100,000 a year. And I think maybe 3 people stood up. And if I actually paid myself and did not have this business, that's what I would be making. And I'm not ashamed to say it at all. And I did it because I incorporated a brow clientele in addition to the makeup clientele. And I have my own clients coming in every 5 weeks for services, which was never part of my agenda. That just kind of naturally evolved. And I was listening to people and their struggles with financially. And I have been there. I was there. And I wish somebody had a makeup studio that I had. That's why I created my studio, was so that I could have freelancers who were passionate about their art be able to have a place, to have a home, to develop a consumer clientele. And nearly everyone who spoke at the Makeup Artist Summit who was incredibly successful was a hairdresser who was out doing their freelance gigs, who came home to a consumer clientele. And I went, makeup artists need to think differently. We have nearly 98% of women have self-esteem issues when they look in the mirror. Most of them, that 98%, have no idea how to do their makeup, and they are begging and asking for that support, and we're not accessible to them. So that's really what inspired me. I immediately reached out to Crystal after the summit and said, we have to do something about this. I don't want to listen to one more artist, you know, oh, I don't want to take consumers. You know, that's like, you know, you're not a makeup artist now if you don't work on it. What is that? You know, the best gift you can give a woman is to have her feel beautiful about herself.
I couldn't agree with you more. I myself had a studio and little apothecary for a while, and one of the greatest things I experienced is just those clients coming to you, being able to not only make them look beautiful, but make them feel beautiful and have that one-on-one connection with them. And I think that there's been such a shift over the last few years of everybody trying to be a celebrity makeup artist, that term that has kind of gotten out there, and everybody thinks that that's where it's at.
Yeah. You know, I think that, you know, the term
it's really about caregiving. Taking care of people.
Oh, taking care. And even if you are a celebrity makeup artist, what is your job as a celebrity makeup artist? Is to take care of that celebrity. Just because you've done makeup on a celebrity one time, you know, does not make you a celebrity artist. It means that you take care of celebrities, but really the gift of having a client, you know, and having a celebrity is that you do get to take care of them. Whether it's a celebrity, and I always make a joke with, you know, I have a lot of mothers sending their kids to me going, oh, how do I become a makeup artist? And, you know, I kind of make this joke that you have a better chance of becoming a celebrity than you do becoming a celebrity makeup artist. More celebrities than there are celebrity makeup artists. You know, these
I'm going to use that. I'm going to use that one. I'm going to steal that from you. Oh.
It's a good one, right? It's a good one.
It's so good. So tell me can you tell me just a little bit about what you'll be sharing in Think Outside the Box?
Yeah, absolutely. I want to impart as much information as I possibly can about how an artist would go about approaching a salon, how they would start gathering a clientele. You know, very much like you're marketing yourself for your freelance work, you have to market yourself as an artist available to the consumers. You know, that kind of marketing is so important to attract the consumer you want in your chair. You know, do you want the 20-year-olds? Do you want the teens? Do you want, you know, plus 40? Do you want plus 50? Do you want plus 60? I have plus 80.
I love it.
You're older.
Yeah.
You want to look good, man? There's a whole market for that. So, how you want to market yourself. I also will talk about, what you need in terms of product, what the structure, payment structure should be if you're going to go into a salon, if you want to do it on your own, how much money you can expect to have to invest. It's a lot. That's one of the reasons, again, why I opened my studio was for it to take that expense of having to keep a retail on hand for yourself, because it is expensive, and to get clear on how different ways and different options that you're going to need, to support yourself in creating that clientele. Where to start? What's the baseline for it?
From the start, like this is where you begin. This is how you start to get the clientele through kind of the business steps, basically, like the practice of it, and how to create the success with it and sustainability with it, so that
there's a marketing calendar. There's how you do consultations, how you approach lessons. As a consumer makeup artist, what you should be focusing on is not your application business. It needs to be on your lesson business and how you do a lesson. My driving force inside the studio is that every woman leaves our studio knowing how to do the makeup herself. It doesn't do you any good if I make you beautiful. You have to be able to go home and do it yourself. One of my best stories is, and I hate this because, maybe then artists don't want to come to my class, but I have a celebrity who's not a celebrity, but I take care of Ted Turner's daughter. And she's at many high-profile events. She's kind of like Mother Earth, I call her, because she's, totally on behalf of our planet being healthy and us being healthy, and she's really extraordinary. And I have been a makeup artist for about 7 years, and I've taught her how to do her makeup so well that she now only uses me for the big events. I used to get called at least once a week, if not twice a week, and I've taught her how to do it so well. And I said, you need to be like a complete testimonial for me, Laura, because I've saved you money.
You know what, though? That, to me, even though in the immediate it sounds like maybe there's a little less money coming in the long term, then you have a client for life.
Yeah.
I mean, because you connect and they know that you care about them, and you're not just there pushing a product on them or pushing a service on them. They know that you care, and that was even when I had my place. That was my entire philosophy, and that's what you're doing, and that's what you're going to be sharing with people at the summit. It goes beyond just the product or just the one time. You're creating that relationship. I think sometimes people think in just the immediate, and that's why they're not necessarily achieving their goals, because they're thinking in the immediate and not like the long.
Really, it did it for me, which I think a lot of, women who choose to have children, you get into I need to put food on the table, and how am I going to do that consistently, and that's what it was for me, is having that kind of push behind me. I had to simultaneously be able to build that business, and I hope to really impart that, as much wisdom as I can at the summit for people to take, especially in outlying areas. I think people who are not necessarily attached to a major city have a huge opportunity to be in secondary cities that they absolutely should be honing in on their community. I just think it's even easier than in a large city, because these women are hungry. They don't have any other place to go. Those are the people shopping on Home Shopping Network. We should be seeing
And I want to jump in here for a second, because I certainly don't want to give the to just give away everything. But when I owned the agency, we used to get clients who would call up newscasters and those kinds of people who would ask us to do makeovers for them, and then teach them how to do their makeup, teach them how to do their hair. And having the right tools is so important. I think one of the things that artists have to get over is feeling like, if I teach somebody how to do something, then I'm going to empower them not to come back. Women still want to come back.
They need you. You know, you still need to be updated. You still need to be modern. They're not paying attention to the subtlety of how makeup is changing from decade to decade or year to year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the seasonal trends that the brown nude that you used 2 years ago is now the brown nude that you see, that the gloss that is way over shiny, we're not doing that anymore.
Right.
I can't tell you, I have people come in and like, get that color off your lips now. Go in and, you know, we have a lipstick station. We make our own lipstick right there. So I'm like, get that, the 1992 plummy brown metallic off, like, now, because I love you, not because, you know, but because I love you, because the way you wear your makeup tells me exactly how old you are.
Yeah. So, let me ask you this. Sorry, my screen is switching around. Let me ask you, how do you think the PYP Summit is different from other makeup events?
Oh, I'm so excited about this event. Because I think that it's focusing on your business. It's giving you the tools to be able to really hit it. It's wonderful to go and learn and be inspired on the craft, right? You know, everybody wants to learn the technique and see somebody else's the way they put this on and what brush I mean, I love, like, who doesn't love that? That's why I got into this. You know, I love it. The art classes, it's just a blast. But there aren't enough people focusing on the business of beauty. And you aren't going to make it. We are freelancers, which means we are all independent businesses. So if you do not become a master at business and breaking it down, that was always my fear. And I've spent the past 10 years immersing myself in what it takes to be successful as a business owner, because I was an artist. I can sell people stuff, but to be a business owner is a completely different concept. That's what Crystal's trying to provide at this summit. It's every different angle and aspect to what it takes to build a successful business inside of our industry. So that's very different. I'm so excited to be part of this because that's really what I stand for. I stand for people being able to make a living at putting makeup on people's faces. I mean, we get to put makeup on people's faces, and there's a lot of money in it, people. I mean, look at the statistics, and I don't want to, you're like an idiot if you can't figure out how to make money in this industry. You know, it's just how I look at it. Crystal is probably one of the only other people who really gets it to the degree that I do, and it makes me so excited to be part of this. Is, you know, it's just, that's there. Did I answer your question? Was that good?
Yeah, you did. But I love your enthusiasm because I coach and mentor artists as well, and that's what I'm all about, is the business side and the ethics and the integrity as well as the artistry, because if you don't have all that, where are you going? You know, you're not going anywhere.
Yeah, you're not going anywhere. It needs to be taught, and we create standards. And with what we do, now that we're all connected socially with this wonderful social media, we need to create a community of like-minded people that we really support each other and not be intimidated, like, I'm not going to, if I give you what I know, you're going to open up on the next block down the street from me and take my business. I don't have, how many millions of people are there that people are going to resonate with me, they're going to resonate with you, they're going to, I got my style isn't your style. There's no fear on that. And that's definitely where Crystal and I resonate for sure, for sure.
And there's work to go around. There's going to be work to go around for people. But if you don't have, if you're not solid, you have to be solid in your artistry and your business. You have to understand like the building blocks of business, and you have to understand how to even structure any of that. And that's what you're sharing. And I find it really is the missing link for so many people. You can go around all day and you can pretty up everybody every single day and be poor and be, eating ramen.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be. That's the thing. And the more that we share, like I'm very interested in creating an association for beauty bar owners. for all of us to share the way that we're doing business to make it better, because the more of us that succeed and the more of us that are able to really hone in together, the more we'll have a foothold inside of the consumer's mind that that's a viable place for business that's, different from a beauty bar, than just a straight beauty bar, like a resource as a professional, not just a place where you go for special occasions, but a resource as a professional. And again, this is a place for like-minded people to come together to get educated, to hear different people's opinions about what's working for them and what's not working for them. I mean, I'm a sponge and I want to hear as much as I can. And I've been in this business for 30 years and I can't wait to see, what everybody has to say.
So who is a must-see for you at the PYP Summit? Who are you dying to see?
Oh, the beauty blender chick. And so my agenda is to launch my own makeup line, and it's terrifying because we're oversaturated. There's too much of it. If I could actually turn my camera and show you my wall, I have Post-it notes all over my wall of all my eyeshadow colors and blush colors on Post-it notes, color coordinated, 3 levels deep, and because. That's what's next for me is that I'm sick and tired of the lines that are available to me as a business owner, as a small business owner, what I can and not buy. And I'm not doing another private label line. And I want a line that can be respected, that's professional, that other salon owners, that it caters to the salon world. Lord have mercy. Think after I figured somebody else would do it and I would just go work for them, and nobody's done it. So I have to freaking do it. And I bring it to market, and I have to say why it's different. And so, she was able to bring a sponge, for God's sake, to market. Like, we need any more sponges, and it's successful. So, I'm like, hey, I'm listening to as much as I can, and and of course, there's and I can't think of her name, but the one who has the main beauty bar in Boca, she's
Maria Eckelard. That's Maria Eckelard.
Maria, and I would like to listen to her success. I am, again, I don't have all the answers to what it takes to build it. I'm a baby. I've had it for 6 years. I've had it for 20, then but I like to learn from what everybody else is doing that makes them successful. So there you go.
Yeah, that's great. And you know what? I can't wait to see your makeup line, because having owned a place myself, and I brought up to $25,000 just to bring the line in, because I didn't want to do private label because there are other people in my area doing it. And what you are talking about, I can't wait to see it. I cannot wait to see it because it's awesome.
It's sustainable packaging that you don't have, and you put in a recycle bin, for God's sake, and no chemicals that hurt you, with 130 eyeshadow colors. Anyway, all on my wall.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
Yeah.
You're going to have to give me a launch date.
I gotta get the crowdsourcing. We've already made the foundation in 10 colors, so I just don't have packaging, so I can't launch. So I'm interested in hearing what everybody's doing. There's answers for all of us out there.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm so excited, and I'm so thankful that you could take the time to do this with us today. And any makeup artist, or even anybody that's doing hair, or even anybody that's doing styling, and they don't only have to be a makeup artist. I think they're going to get so much out of what you are speaking about. Think outside of the box, and it's the five basics to get them to have consumer clientele. I think that everybody who is interested in the PYP Summit should be running to your class if they want a lasting career, because that's what they need to know. So I'm so thankful that you took the time to do this with us today. And I'm super excited. I can't wait to see you at PYP Summit.
So sorry. Somebody's calling in. I'm like, excuse me.
And if you are watching our interview and you enjoyed this interview, I hope you were able to jot down a few ideas and some inspiration that you can use right away, or things that you can start thinking about right away to use in your own career. And don't forget to go to the pypsummit.com website and see Alyson and see Crystal and see me at April 18th through 20th in Stamford, Connecticut. Thanks so much, and we'll see you next time.